The night sky above the colony world of Veyra was painted in fire. Explosions rolled across the horizon like angry storms. The human defense lines were breaking under the enemy's assault. Soldiers shouted orders, weapons flashed, and the air was thick with smoke and the metallic scent of blood. Among the chaos, Captain Aaron Kade sprinted between the burning ruins, leading his squad through a street littered with debris. He had fought in many battles before, but tonight was different. The enemy wasn't just attacking, they were destroying. Everything without mercy. A beam of plasma tore through the wall beside him, scattering molten fragments across his armor. He ducked behind a collapsed pillar, returning fire at the shadowy figures advancing through the haze. The aliens were fast, strong, and ruthless. Their purple skin glistened under the glow of the flames, and their eyes burned with a predator's focus. Every move they made screamed of years of combat training and a hatred for humans so deep it seemed personal. One of his men fell, a hole burning through his chest plate. Aaron clenched his jaw and pulled the soldier's body to cover. But the lifeless stare told him it was too late. He had no time to mourn. A roar came from ahead, and a massive alien warrior leapt over the barricade, her twin blades flashing silver in the firelight. She cut down 2 human soldiers before Aaron's rifle snapped up. He fired 3 precise shots, each one sparking against her armor until the 4th hit her leg and dropped her to the ground. The warrior tried to rise, snarling through the pain, but Aaron was already there. He kicked her weapons aside and aimed his sidearm at her head. She froze, her breath ragged, her eyes locked on his. This was the first time he had seen one of their kind so close without being in the middle of a killing strike. Her features were sharp, almost regal, and her hair spilled like a crimson river over her shoulders. For a moment, despite the chaos, there was an odd stillness between them. "Do it," she spat, though her voice trembled. "End me, human." Aaron's finger tightened on the trigger, but something in her tone caught him off guard. It wasn't defiance alone, it was desperation. She knew she was beaten, yet her eyes didn't look away. Instead, they held a strange mix of fear and resolve. "You came here to kill us," Aaron said quietly. "Why should I let you live?" Her lips parted, but no answer came immediately. The sounds of battle raged around them, but for her, the fight seemed gone. She drew a shuddering breath, then lowered her head. "My life is yours, human, just spare me," she said, the words heavy as if they cost her everything. Aaron blinked. It wasn't a plea he expected. The enemy never begged. They fought until death claimed them. Something about her request felt wrong or dangerous. He glanced at his squad. Most were too busy holding the line to notice, but Corporal Reyes caught his eye and mouthed, "Finish it." But Aaron didn't. Something told him killing her here wouldn't end this war. She might have answers the humans desperately needed. He grabbed her arm and yanked her to her feet. She stumbled, the wound in her leg making her lean against him for balance. "You're coming with me," he said firmly. Her eyes widened in surprise, but she didn't resist. Maybe she couldn't. He half dragged, half guided her through the burning streets until they reached a transport zone. A shuttle was waiting, engines roaring. His men stared as he pushed her aboard and secured her with restraints. "She's the enemy, Captain," Reyes protested. "She's a prisoner now," Aaron replied, "and she might be the key to stopping this." As the shuttle lifted off, Aaron sat opposite her. She avoided his gaze, her breathing still unsteady. He studied her armor, intricate, ceremonial. Unlike the standard soldiers they had fought, she wasn't just another warrior. She was someone important. "Who are you?" he asked. She hesitated, then met his eyes. "General Kaela Varyn," she said slowly, "commander of the First Blade." Aaron's grip on his weapon tightened. He had heard of her, every human soldier had. She was one of the most feared commanders in the alien military. The stories said she never retreated, never surrendered, and never spared a human life. Yet here she was, bound before him, her life. In his hands, the shuttle broke atmosphere, the burning world shrinking below them. Aaron didn't know what he had just brought aboard, but he knew one thing. This war had just taken a turn no one could have predicted. The hum of the shuttle was the only sound between them for several minutes. Aaron kept his eyes on the alien general while his squad worked quietly. Every time the light from the cabin flickered across her face, he noticed the faint sheen of sweat on her skin, the tightening of her jaw. Her wound was bleeding slowly, staining the dark plates of her armor. She didn't ask for help, and he didn't offer it. He wondered if she was staying silent out of pride, or if she was already planning her escape. She was dangerous, everyone knew that, but she wasn't acting like a prisoner who feared execution. It was almost as if she had decided that her life was no longer her own, yet still held some secret she would never willingly reveal. Reyes broke the silence first. "Captain, she killed Corporal Hensley back there. You really think Command will let her live?" His tone carried both anger and disbelief. Aaron didn't take his eyes off her. "Command will do what Command decides. My job is to get answers. She's worth more alive than dead right now." Kaela's lips curved into the faintest shadow of a smile. "Your soldiers hate me. That's good. Hate makes them predictable." Reyes bristled, but Aaron raised a hand. "And you? Do you hate us?" She met his gaze with steady, unblinking eyes. "I was raised to. I was taught that humans are weak, fragile things who hide behind technology and numbers. But today..." Her voice trailed off. Aaron leaned forward. "Today?" Her eyes darkened. "Today I learned weakness is not what kills, mercy is." Before he could ask what she meant, the shuttle jolted as it entered the hangar bay of the Resolute, their main cruiser. Soldiers and medics waited as the coded ramp lowered. The sight of Kaela in restraints made the hangar go silent. Every human there knew who she was. Some stared with wide eyes, others with clenched fists. As they escorted her off the shuttle, the whispers began. "That's the First Blade. How is she still alive? She should be dead." Aaron ignored them and led her straight to the secure holding cells. The heavy doors hissed open, revealing a reinforced room with energy barriers on all sides. Inside, there was nothing but a single bench. He removed her restraints, but his sidearm stayed drawn. She rubbed her wrists and sat down slowly. "You keep your prisoners like rare animals. We keep our enemies where they can't hurt anyone," Aaron replied. When he turned to leave, her voice stopped him. "You think I am your enemy? But there are worse things than me coming, Captain." He faced her again. "Then tell me what they are." Her expression tightened. "Not yet." That answer made his patience thin, but something about her tone told him she wasn't simply refusing. She was waiting for something, some event or moment before she would speak. It made him uneasy. The next hours were filled with reports, briefings, and questions from his superiors. Command wanted to interrogate her immediately, but Aaron insisted on handling it himself. He knew how easily alien prisoners clammed up under force. If she had something valuable, she needed to believe she had a reason to give it. Late that night, he returned to her cell. The guards outside gave him strange looks, but no one stopped him. Inside, Kaela sat with her back against the wall, staring at the ceiling as if studying invisible patterns. "You didn't ask me why I surrendered," she said without looking at him. Aaron crossed his arms. "I figured I'd get the truth eventually." She lowered her gaze to him. "I could have fought until you killed me. That is the way of my people, but if I died, what I know would die with me." He stepped closer. "So you do have information?" "Yes," she said, "information that could save your kind and mine. But I will only give it to you, Captain. No one else." That caught him off guard. "Why me?" She hesitated, her voice softer now. "Because you didn't kill me when you could have. And because I have been told you are not like the others." Aaron's instincts told him this could be a trap. But if she was telling the truth, the war they were fighting might not be the only danger. "What's the threat?" he asked. Her eyes locked on his. "A force neither of us can stop alone. And it's already here." Before he could press her further, alarms blared through the ship. The calm voice of the intercom was replaced by the urgency of the officer on duty. "Unidentified contact approaching fast. All crew to battle stations." Aaron turned toward the door. Outside, the ship's lighting shifted to deep red. Kaela rose to her feet, her gaze sharp. "This is it," she said. "The reason I am still breathing." The Resolute shook under a sudden impact, the deep metallic groan echoing through the halls. Aaron rushed toward the command deck, his boots pounding against the floor. He could hear the alarms screaming over the ship's comms. Crew members ran to their stations, faces pale, voices tense. When he reached the deck, the main view screen was filled with a strange sight. A massive shape moved against the blackness of space, its surface shifting like liquid metal, reflecting distorted stars. It wasn't like any ship he had ever seen. It had no clear structure, no engines visible, just a vast writhing mass that seemed alive. "What is that?" Aaron demanded. "Unknown, sir," replied the sensor officer. "It's not in any database. And it's fast closing distance in seconds." Before anyone could speak, the ship shuddered again as a glowing tendril of energy lashed out from the alien mass. Wrapping around the Resolute's shields, sparks flew across the consoles. The helmsman cursed. Aaron's mind raced. He had been in dozens of battles, but this felt different. This thing wasn't attacking like a ship, it was hunting like a predator. Behind him, the door hissed open, and Kaela stepped onto the deck, flanked by two uneasy guards. She had no restraints now, only a solemn look. "You've met them sooner than I thought," she said. Aaron turned sharply. "You know what that is?" "Yes," she answered, her voice calm but grim. "We call them the Devourers. They consume ships, cities, even worlds. Nothing remains but silence." Murmurs spread through the crew. The captain of the Resolute, an older officer named Halvers, narrowed his eyes. "Why should we believe you?" Kaela stepped closer to the screen, her gaze fixed on the writhing mass outside. "Because I have fought them and lost. My world's outer colonies are already gone because of them. The war between our peoples is meaningless compared to what this thing will do." Aaron studied her. There was no arrogance in her tone now, only the weight of something she had seen with her own eyes. The Devourer struck again, another tendril smashing into the shields. Warning lights flared across the bridge. Halvers barked orders. "Fire everything we've got." Missiles streaked toward the creature, followed by volleys of energy blasts. But the projectiles vanished into its surface like pebbles sinking into water. The creature seemed to grow larger, its tendrils multiplying. "It's feeding on your weapons," Kaela said sharply. "You're making it stronger." Aaron's stomach tightened. "Then what stops it?" She turned to him. "I know how to drive it back. But you will have to trust me completely." Halvers shook his head. "No, she's the enemy. This could be a trap." Kaela's gaze locked on Aaron. "If you don't act now, you'll be dead in minutes. And so will everyone on this ship." The deck trembled violently. One of the side panels exploded, throwing two crew members to the ground. Smoke filled the air. Aaron knew they were running out of time. "Do it," he told her. Halvers looked like he wanted to argue, but another impact silenced him. "Fine. But if she tries anything, she won't," Aaron interrupted. Kaela didn't waste a second. She moved to the navigation console and began inputting a series of strange coordinates. The crew watched her hands fly over the controls with surprising familiarity. "What are you doing?" Aaron asked. "There's a rift nearby, a spatial tier the Devourers can't cross. If we get there, it will break their grip." The Resolute turned sharply, engines roaring at full power. The Devourer followed, its tendrils scraping along the shields like claws on metal. The entire ship vibrated from the strain. The rift came into view, a swirling vortex of blue and white light in the distance. It looked unstable, dangerous, but it was their only chance. "Hold course," Kaela shouted. "Don't slow down. No matter what." The Devourer lunged, wrapping almost half its mass around the ship. Hull plates buckled, alarms screamed, and Aaron gripped the rail to keep his footing. At the last moment, the Resolute plunged into the edge of the rift. A blinding flash filled the view screen. The tendrils recoiled instantly, and the Devourer let out a soundless shiver before retreating into the dark. The ship emerged on the other side, battered but intact. The bridge crew slowly exhaled. Kaela stepped back from the console, her breathing heavy. "You're safe, for now," Halvers eyed her warily. "And how long will that last?" She met Aaron's gaze. "Not long enough. That was only one. There are more. Many more." Aaron didn't like the way she said it. And deep down, he knew this uneasy alliance was just beginning. The Resolute floated in the quiet space beyond the rift, its hull scarred and blackened from the fight. Damage crews worked tirelessly, patching holes and replacing fried circuits. The crew was shaken but alive. In the medbay, the injured filled every bed. Aaron walked the corridors, checking on his people, but his mind kept circling back to the alien general sitting in a secured chamber. Kaela had saved them. That was undeniable. But her words still echoed in his head. There are more. Many more. He stepped into the chamber. She was sitting on the bench, armor still dusty from battle, her crimson hair tied back. When she saw him, she gave the faintest nod. "You didn't come here to thank me," she said. "No," Aaron admitted. "I came for the rest of it. You fought these Devourers before. You know how to kill them." Her gaze hardened. "Kill? No, they are not like you or me. They are not a species that can be reasoned with or destroyed easily. They are hunger given form. We can only drive them back, and even that is temporary." Aaron folded his arms. "Then how do we survive?" She looked away, as if weighing her. "Answer. There is an ancient weapon. My people buried it centuries ago, locked behind rites and defenses. It was too dangerous even for us. But against the Devourers, it may be our only hope." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "And you expect me to believe you'll just hand this weapon over?" Her lips curved faintly. "I expect you to help me get it. Without me, you won't survive. The journey to it, without you, I cannot claim it." Aaron studied her for a long moment. Trust was a dangerous thing in war, but something told him she was telling the truth, or at least enough of it to matter. Before he could answer, Captain Halvers entered, his tone sharp. "Kade, a word." Outside the chamber, Halvers' voice dropped. "I don't like this. She's dangerous." The crew was already talking. Half think you've gone soft. The other half think you're being played. Aaron kept his voice steady. "We're outmatched. You saw what one of those things did to this ship. She has knowledge we don't. I'm not letting that go to waste." Halvers frowned but didn't argue further. "Fine, but if she tries anything, she's your responsibility." An hour later, the Resolute changed course, heading toward alien-controlled space. The crew was uneasy. Flying into enemy territory while still in the middle of a war felt like madness. But the memory of the Devourers, tendrils tearing into the ship, kept their protests quiet. In the days that followed, Aaron and Kaela spoke more. She told him of her homeworld's history, how her people had fought each other for centuries, until the Devourers came. For a brief time they had united, pushing the creatures back. But once the threat faded, old rivalries returned. "You humans are not so different," she said one night. Aaron gave a dry smile. "We're very good at fighting each other. But sometimes we remember we're better at fighting something else." Kaela tilted her head. "Perhaps that is why you spared me." You saw the bigger fight." He didn't answer, but he wondered if she might be right. On the fourth day, sensors picked up ships on an intercept course, sleek alien warships bearing the insignia of Kaela's people. The Resolute's crew scrambled to battle stations, but Kaela stepped onto the bridge, calm and composed. "They will not fire if they see me," she said. Halvers gave her a suspicious look. "And if you're wrong? Then we die quickly," she replied without flinching. The alien ships slowed as they approached, scanning the Resolute. A channel opened, and a voice filled the bridge. "General Varyn, you are alive?" Kaela stepped forward, alive and with vital knowledge. "I request escort to the High Council. This human ship is under my protection." There was a pause. Then the voice returned. "Very well. Follow us." Halvers muttered under his breath, but Aaron caught the faint relief in his eyes. The alien escort led them toward a massive space station orbiting a gas giant. It was unlike anything Aaron had seen, towering spires of silver and black, lit by rivers of glowing blue energy. The station was surrounded by fleets large enough to crush a human battle group in minutes. As they docked, Aaron turned to Kaela. "If this is a trap," she cut him off. "It is not, but the Council will not be pleased to see you. You will need to prove your worth before they listen." Aaron adjusted his rifle strap. "I've been proving my worth my whole life." Kaela gave a faint smile. "Then let's hope you can do it one more time." The airlock opened, and a wave of alien guards greeted them, weapons in hand, their eyes flicking between Aaron and Kaela. Tension crackled in the air. Whatever was about to happen, Aaron knew one thing: his survival now depended as much on her as hers did on him. The alien station's halls were vast and cold, their walls carved with flowing patterns that shimmered under soft blue light. Aaron walked between two lines of armed guards, their weapons angled just enough to remind him that one wrong move would be his last. Beside him, Kaela strode with her chin high, the wounded limp in her step hidden behind a commander's pride. They entered the High Council chamber, a circular hall lined with towering seats, each occupied by an elder of Kaela's people. Their robes glistened with metallic threads, and their eyes watched Aaron like a predator sizing up strange prey. One elder, his voice deep and slow, spoke first. "General Varyn, you returned from defeat, escorted by a human. Explain." Kaela stepped forward. "The Devourers have crossed the outer sectors. They destroyed my command and would have consumed me if not for this human. He spared my life when he had no reason to, and together we escaped. Now I bring warning and a path to survival." Another elder leaned forward, her gaze sharp. "And the human? Why is he here?" Kaela glanced at Aaron. "Because he is the only one I trust to help me retrieve the weapon." The chamber filled with low murmurs. Aaron could feel the weight of their disbelief pressing down on him. To them, he wasn't an ally, he was an enemy soldier standing in their heart. An elder to Kaela's left spoke coldly. "Trust is earned in blood. If he seeks to walk our halls, he must prove his worth. The trial of blades will decide if he lives or dies." Aaron's jaw tightened. "And what happens if I pass?" The elder's lips curled. "Then you may walk beside our general. Fail, and your body will be cast into the void." Halvers, who had come only as far as the outer doors, started to protest, but Kaela's sharp glance stopped him. She turned back to Aaron and spoke quietly. "The trial is dangerous, but it is the only way they will accept you." Aaron nodded. "Then let's get it over with." The trial arena was a vast circular pit, its floor of black stone scarred from countless battles. Alien warriors stood along the edges, watching as Aaron stepped inside. His opponent was already waiting, a towering soldier in ceremonial armor. Armed with two curved blades, the elder's voice echoed from above. "Begin." The warrior charged, blades flashing. Aaron dodged, the metal singing past his face. He countered with a quick strike from his combat knife, but the alien's armor absorbed the blow. They circled each other, the sound of their footsteps echoing through the arena. The alien lunged again, forcing Aaron to roll aside. The crowd hissed in disapproval. Aaron knew he couldn't win by matching brute strength. He needed to turn the fight into something else. When the alien came in for another heavy strike, Aaron stepped forward instead of back, letting the blade scrape his shoulder armor as he drove his elbow into the warrior's jaw. The alien stumbled, surprised by the sudden closeness. Aaron pressed the advantage, slashing at the gaps in the armor until his blade drew a line of purple blood. A roar went up from the crowd, not of anger, but of interest. The alien warrior snarled and came at him harder. But Aaron kept moving, never letting the fight settle into a rhythm. When the opening finally came, he swept the alien's legs and slammed him to the ground. His knife pressed against the exposed neck. Silence filled the arena. Aaron rose, letting the warrior live. "I'm not here to kill your people," he said, loudly enough for the crowd to hear. "I'm here to help stop what's coming for all of us." For a moment, no one moved. Then the defeated warrior sat up and gave a slow nod. The elders spoke quietly among themselves. Before the lead elder's voice rang out, "The human has passed the trial. He will walk beside General Varyn." Kaela stepped down into the arena, her eyes steady on Aaron. "You fought well. My people will not forget this." As they left the pit, she leaned closer, her voice low. "Now they will follow us, but we must move quickly. The Devourers will not wait for us to find the weapon." Aaron gave a grim nod. "Then we'd better find it before they find us." The journey to the ancient weapon took them deep into forbidden sectors of Kaela's homeworld. The alien fleets that had escorted them peeled away one by one until only a single ship carried them through the uncharted skies. The atmosphere outside was heavy and dark, thick clouds swirling over jagged mountains that seemed to claw at the heavens. Aaron stood beside Kaela in the cockpit, scanning the endless ridges. "Doesn't look like anyone's been here in centuries," he said. "They haven't," she replied. "By decree of the High Council, this land was sealed. Too much blood was spilled over what lies below." Their ship landed on a plateau of black stone. From there, they descended into a vast canyon where the air shimmered with strange energy. The walls were covered in glowing markings, ancient runes that pulsed faintly as they passed. Kaela moved with purpose, her eyes fixed ahead. "The weapon is not a machine in the way you think. It is alive in a sense. It will choose who may wield it." Aaron frowned. "And if it doesn't choose either of us?" Her voice was calm, but her words were grim. "Then we die here, and so does your world." They entered a massive chamber hidden beneath the rock. At its center stood a crystalline structure as tall as a building, its surface shifting between solid and liquid. A low hum filled the air, vibrating in Aaron's chest. Kaela stepped forward first, placing her hand against the crystal. Light flared briefly, but then dimmed. She lowered her hand, her jaw tightening. "It refuses me." Aaron hesitated, then placed his hand on the surface. The crystal shone brighter, sending streams of light spiraling up its length. A voice, deep and resonant, echoed in his mind, not in words, but in meaning. "You fight not for conquest, but for life itself. You will bear the burden." The crystal split open, revealing a sphere of swirling energy suspended in the air. Aaron reached for it, and the moment his fingers closed around it, the hum became a roar. Images flashed in his mind, worlds consumed, fleets torn apart, the Devourers' endless hunger, and then a blinding light filled the chamber. When it faded, the sphere was gone, replaced by a pulse of warmth in his chest. The weapon was inside him now. Kaela stared at him, her eyes wide. "It chose you." Before Aaron could answer, the chamber shook violently. A massive shape forced its way through the canyon walls. A devourer, larger than the one they had faced before. Its tendrils smashed through the rock, reaching for them. Aaron felt the warmth in his chest rise to a burning heat. Instinct took over. He raised his hand, and a beam of pure energy shot out, cutting through one of the creature's tendrils like paper. The Devourer recoiled, but didn't retreat. Kaela drew her blades and stood beside him. "We end this here." Together. They fought, the weapon's energy surging through Aaron, Kaela's strike swift and precise. Every time the Devourer lunged, Aaron's blast drove it back, while Kaela cut through the writhing limbs that got too close. Finally, with a roar of defiance, Aaron unleashed the full power of the weapon. A wave of light exploded outward, engulfing the Devourer. The creature writhed, its form unraveling into nothingness, until the canyon was silent once more. Aaron staggered, the heat in his chest fading. Kaela caught his arm, steadying him. "You did it," she said softly. He looked at her, breathing hard. "We did it." They made their way back to the ship. By the time they returned to the alien station, word of their victory had already spread. The High Council met them at the docking bay, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and respect. One elder stepped forward. "General Varyn and human Aaron Kade, you have done what we thought impossible. The Devourer threat has been driven back for now." Kaela turned to Aaron. "I told you my life was yours if you spared me. That vow still stands." Aaron shook his head. "You don't owe me your life. But maybe you and your people can stand with mine instead of against us." She smiled faintly. "Then let that be the new vow." For the first time in years, humans and Kaela's people stood together, not as enemies, but as allies. The war between them was over, replaced by a greater fight they would face side by side. And in the heart of Aaron's chest, the weapons. Warmth remained a reminder that the battle was won, but the war for the galaxy's survival had only just begun.